22,000 Virginia protesters descended upon the Capitol on Martin Luther King Day. Is it activism or privilege? So, Martin Luther King Jr. Day this year, 22,000 protesters rallied in Virginia to cry out against the state's new proposed laws, uh, gun control laws. The new laws include bills that would impose universal background checks, ban military style rifles, and allow police and authorities to temporarily take guns away from people who were thought to be a danger to themselves or others. Um, it was held at a peaceful rally outside the Capitol of Virginia. Only one person was arrested, and she was arrested for wearing a bandana that covered her face, um, which apparently is a felony. Who would have thunk? Although, if you look at the pictures of the rally, there's plenty of pictures. You can see many more other people also wearing bandanas that are covering their face. I'm guessing, though, that they didn't get caught. Um, it should be noted that among them, there were several extremist groups there, white supremacist groups, and the crowd, which was mostly white. Many of them had MAGA hats and Donald Trump paraphernalia, flags, and all the accoutrement of the average white right wing American. Some had on military gear and camouflage. Um, some of the protesters, when they were asked, were saying that criminals were being let out of prison and immigrants' rights were being protected, but their rights were being infringed upon. Their right to bear arms, the Second Amendment right. And can, can we just note as to why it was peaceful? Because let's not forget that the last time the far right had a protest, um, one of them drove a car into a crowd and killed a woman who was protesting against them. Um, and not a single news outlet spoke about any opposition there, no opposing protesters, no voices speaking against them, added to heavy police force, which is basically a group that believes in their cause. That actually equals no problems. That equals peace. So the word peaceful being assigned here, even though it's technically true, it's basically circumstantial. All that proves is that white people have no reason to be afraid of extremist groups in America, or white right wing extremist groups in America, or the police. And honestly, actually, it must be really nice because the rest of us do. One woman even described it as being the safest place in the state for her. They were there to protest the laws that they believe are laws haven't even been passed yet, but they believe these laws are snowballing into the government disarming civilians. Also, it's to be noted that this is the first time in Virginia that Democrats took over the Senate in 26 years. So basically, it was the Democrats or the Republicans jumping up to "You shall not pass!" So, also, side note, can we just mention the fact that some of the people in this rally are the same people who would probably scream, "Go to another country if you don't like it," if someone else who was not white were protesting the unfair treatment of a different segment of Americans? But that's on another note. Um, the real question is, are the protests necessary? And it's a long and drawn out argument on both sides, but the, the the truth is, like, despite the inherent flaws that come with white people protesting to let other white people who want to kill non-white people keep their guns, gun laws actually affect us all. And the Second Amendment specifically is supposed to protect us from tyrannical governments. We're supposed to be able to use our right to bear arms to protect us from our own government. which is a fact that a lot of Democrats seem to be forgetting. Like, we can ignore the white supremacist groups that have been amping up and arming up for a race war because they've been doing that for ever since slavery was abolished. For some reason, there is a large segment of our population that believes that one day they're going to be fighting black people to the death with guns and knives and muskets. I don't know. Um, that's just something that's been going on. But we can't forget that the police that currently protect those people are extensions of our own government, and that they, even though they mostly target like the underrepresented people, minorities, poverty-stricken areas, for many reasons that belong in a different video. As new laws are put in effect, they're going to start giving equal treatment to the masses as well. It's really a question of how protected do you feel and how much do you want to feel protected. Because I feel like there are a lot of people who don't want to lose their gun toting privileges because they live in some semblance of fear that people that they've never met who aren't thinking about them are going to attack them. But on the other hand, um, some of us actually do need protection and we do need to start arming ourselves. Um, the problem with that and the problem with this whole situation is that despite the average white citizen being able to keep their rights or being able to protest peacefully uh, for their rights to bear arms, we all know that there is a segment of the population that is heavily melanated that isn't going to be able to enjoy the full extent of those laws. I don't want to. I don't feel like I need to remind anybody about the amount of people who've been killed for playing with BB guns in their backyards, minding their own business, or on their own in their own property, or sitting on their sofa eating a bowl of cereal and having somebody walk in while they're off duty and shoot them and kill them and not perform any type of first aid. But we don't need to go into all that. All we need to know is that regardless of who you are, the Second Amendment is here and it's supposed to work for you. It's going to work better for other people because those laws were specifically made to protect and aid them. But that doesn't mean that you can't try to get some of that law for yourself. I don't know how much that's going to work because if I had a gun and if I walked up to the Capitol, uh, even in a rally that I had planned for weeks ahead of time with a group of my friends who looked like me, and we were all wearing guns, it would not be a peaceful protest. Like, we wouldn't have to fire off a single shot, but there would probably be several arrests and several deaths. So take it how you will. Just know that there's a group of people right now out there and about trying to make sure that there is the right to bear arms. Is there the right to bear arms for you? Who knows? But there's the right to bear arms out there.